Hey everybody, it's Nick.
Hola, Nick!
Just wanted to take a few minutes to let you fine folks know how you can contact us. You can find us on Twitter at the It's Too Wordy 1 and on Instagram. Just look for It's Too Wordy. We also have a Discord set up, The Haunted Log. If you like what you hear, maybe considering throwing us some of your spare change. Maybe some of your hard-earned loot. Maybe some stuff you find in your car cushions. Who knows? Anything will go a long way, and you can do that by visiting our Patreon page at patreon.com/HouseBTS. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy this episode.
This week on It's Too Wordy, J. Scott Campbell at his Campbellist.
Really?
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of It's Too Wordy, the comic book podcast where three buddies discuss comic books from their childhood and today. I'm Kirk, joined by...
Nick.
Wow, guys. It's going to be
Ryan.
that kind of night. How you guys doing today?
Great.
Yeah, really good.
Good. All right. On this week's episode, we'll be talking about Fairlady number 5, and to round up Family Month, Danger Girl, the entire trade. So sit back and enjoy, people. What do we want to do first?
We should do Fairlady first, right? Get the new one done.
All right. Take it away, Ryan.
I got hit by that bus. All right.
You know the characters.
I do.
Like, I don't even remember their names.
That's good. Okay. Okay, so I've talked about Fairlady before, and I've mentioned how this is probably my favorite book coming out right now because everything's self-contained in each issue. So it is about instead of a fair man who does the bounty hunting, this is a fair lady that does the bounty hunting. And she was pulled in this issue by the police and another bounty hunter to track down this villain. And so the way it's kind of formatted is a little bit weird because they show her chasing this guy throughout and then kind of jumps back and tells how it led up to this point. So, yeah, sorry guys, I didn't realize there was going to be a continuation to this to an extent. But the character she's looking for, Samantha, she was rescued in issue 1 or 2, and she took her to a nunnery, I guess, or something like that, a missionary place where she can recover and hide. And the only people that know she's there are the fair lady, obviously Samantha, because she's there, and these nun-like creatures.
Like caretakers, right?
Caretakers, right. And now they think she killed somebody. So they're going to go check out what's happening. The police thing is the typical bounty hunter meets the cop, just like any movie where the cop's like, oh, you're on the outside and you're a horrible person, but we really need your help to do this for us. It's kind of one of those relationships between her and the cop. So they're they're kind of going back and looking for clues, trying to figure out where she may have disappeared to so they can talk to her about it. And
it's not easy to do. This issue is
This
really...
issue is all...
It's time jumps back and forth.
It doesn't keep a standard.
There's 9. Seems like 9 characters running through this book.
yeah.
And they all have like a certain amount of pages that you have to follow.
Yeah. And so they end up getting to, without going through all of it, but they end up figuring out, or the fair lady ends up figuring out, that the bad guy that's actually committed the murder and is blaming it on Samantha is this other bounty hunter who has a venom-like symbiote type thing going on and turns into this creature.
This is the one that said that he wanted to start a company.
Yes.
Wanted to start something with her when this was over.
Yeah, he wanted to partner up.
Yeah.
And he didn't realize she was good enough to figure out who he was. And he ends up taking a stab at Fair Lady. Literally. And Samantha comes running out of nowhere and pushes him off of a cliff. Now this is where I got a little lost because the imagery was not great. But the creature's hanging on. Fair Lady's hanging on to the creature. Samantha's holding on to the creature and hanging below him. and then they apparently fall to their doom. And it's left with her laying there bleeding out and wondering what's going to happen next. So, I know what I think about this book. Kirk?
I had trouble following it because, like we found out, it was a continuation. Kind of.
Yes and no, yeah.
You had to read previous books. It wasn't bad. I gave it a 3.5.
I don't know what to say about it. It's well written. The characters are cool. I like how it's a detective story in D&D times, which is pretty neat.
That's pretty neat, yeah.
What I didn't like was 4 pages of all black.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, I paid how much? $4 for a regular size comic that has 3.5 pages that are all black. They're falling. You have one panel of them falling off a cliff, then you have one panel of them on the ground. That's all you got to do. You don't have to show me how long they're falling through
the
dark.
into the black.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I want to go back and read the other ones to figure out what's going on.
I agree.
You'd only need to read the one where Samantha got actually talked about and was involved.
Which one was that?
One or two?
One or two is what I remember, yeah.
Okay.
But if this was my first issue, I probably wouldn't.
I wouldn't go back and pick it up.
And I can understand that, because after I read it, I'm like, of course, I picked a book that
that's what I said too.
It's
like,
right.
of course. Ryan's all like, it's a one-shot each show. Like, one issue is a self-contained story.
And he's been talking up this book the whole time we've been doing the show.
And then he gives us number 5.
And it's
kind of got things from the past. It's like, oh.
Okay. All right.
Well, if it helps, it took me a minute to kind of process who it was. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember this now. So,
no, it's just talking to you about this. I'm going to read more about it. So
yeah.
I have issue 1 back there.
Yeah, I think you guys would dig it.
Yeah.
In all honesty, like I said, it's one of my favorite books on the shelf right now. I'd probably say this story was about a 4 out of the other one. 4. The other ones I would have rated probably 4.5, 5s on almost every single one of them. This one did feel a little bit more confusing than some of the other ones that I've read. With that being said, you didn't like the 4 pages of black. Aftershock came out with a new book. I absolutely love. I can't remember what digital reception or something.
This week's book brought to you by Aftershock's mascot, Ryan.
I can't remember what the complete title is, but it's something reception. And I was reading that, in the first 8 pages were all black with a red smear in the middle. And the red smear kept on growing and growing throughout. But there is a reason for it. And I think it's a really good story. I haven't finished it yet. We'll have to check it out. I'll give more detail of it next time I get on here. But it's worth checking out too. But I understand that. I mean, it's frustrating when you buy a book and then you have like 4 or 5 blank pages, and you're like, what the heck's going on? Now, I will say with that Aftershock title, they did have words going on those pages. The guy was doing a radio show, and they were talking back and forth, but the picture was this black with that red smear.
Okay.
So.
Now we're going to move on to finish out Family Month with a book that Ryan and Nick wanted me to read called Danger Girl. Let's just do a summary of Danger Girl, because it's...
What? It's pretty easy to do a summary of.
Okay. Yeah. Boobs and ass.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. So, here's how I felt about the book. When I was trying to read this since Monday. No, Thursday.
Trying to read it?
Trying. And
it took me 2 days.
I just couldn't get into it. I read the first 4 books last night, and I finished the rest of them this afternoon.
Took me, 4 hours?
Yeah.
If that.
I'm going to say that high school, junior high Kirk would have absolutely dug this book. Grown-up Kirk, it's kind of like, it's okay.
I forgot how much I actually enjoy.
Now, saying that, I did enjoy the story.
Yeah.
The story was really good.
So you read it for the articles?
I did read it for the articles, correct. I even showed Teresa some of the pictures. I'm like, see, look at this. This is 90s comics at its finest. The synopsis of it?
So, basically, Abby Chase is a female Indiana Jones type. And it starts off with her trying to get some kind of treasure. And she's getting, I'm trying to remember, she's getting chased down, and these two other girls show up and rescue her. And
Boobs 1 and Boobs 2.
Natasha and
Natalia.
Natalia and Sydney.
That's right. Natalia and Sydney rescue her, and they bring her back, and Abby meets a guy that looks very much like Sean Connery in, was it The Rock that he had the ponytail?
Yes.
Yeah.
Looked very much like Sean Connery. And he was recruiting her to help track down these artifacts.
Anybody else get a Charlie's Angels type vibe?
Yes.
That's what I got when I read it. I was like, oh, this is like Charlie's
I
Angels.
was like, this is Indiana Jones meets Charlie's Angels meets James Bond.
Yeah. She ends up hanging around the team. They go after these three elements, three pieces.
Atlantean artifacts.
Atlantean, yeah, that's what it is. So a sword,
a helmet,
and a shield.
Yep.
And that's what how it started off. She's trying to track down the shield, and she runs into the guy that looks like Indiana Jones that got the thing burnt into his hand.
Come join my team.
The Deuce.
Deuce is my name. No kiss, kiss, no bang, bang.
And Silicon Valerie, the tech girl.
Great name. Not really.
The names could have been something more to be desired. But they end up chasing down all these artifacts, and obviously danger ensues. There is a group called Hammer, who is a flashback to like Nazis, is how I kind of picture it.
Yep. So it was really Indiana Jones.
It was,
yes.
Yeah.
The ending is straight up Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes.
I agree.
And and the Hammer got all these pieces together, and supposedly they give you this unbelievable strength, and they put it on this decrepit old guy that didn't know what to do with it. When he put it on, he just fell over, which was hilarious. And all of a sudden the power did come to him.
Even Abby thought it was hilarious, because she started laughing.
What? And the power does come to him, and he starts taking everybody out. And the way the pieces got lost originally were because of the flooding of Atlantis. So Abby did she open something up, or she blew something up and let water into the building and just basically wash them away?
Yep.
It knocked out all of Hammer. In the meantime, Natalia. The girl with the N ends up being a traitor and is fighting.
Backstabbing bitch.
Fighting Abby, and they all escape, and Abby or Natalia may or may have not died, we don't know yet, and they jump on their jet ski or motorboat or whatever it is and tear off. The end. Now, this is just the first Danger Girl story arc. There's been many others. There's Danger Girl G.I. Joe, Danger Girl The Chase. There's a whole bunch of them. They're all little self-contained mini stories, usually 4 or 5 issues. This one was 8.
Yep.
And just fun adventure tales is what it is.
So bringing up the Indiana Jones thing, Ilsa from not Raiders of the Lost Ark, but not Temple of Doom. God,
Frozen?
Last Crusade.
Oh. Looks exactly like Natalia in some of these.
Yes.
Like when she's going crazy, when she's holding the cup of Christ and she's like, yeah, it's mine. We can rule, It's like he took that scene.
Yep.
When she's fighting Abby at the end. Like that face is so that chick. There's just so much Indiana Jones in this.
Yeah, it's very Indiana Jones heavy. And I think that's why I enjoyed it so much.
But I could see this done as a movie.
Yeah.
Just find the right girls for it.
Right. Yep. As much as I put it off and couldn't get into it at first, once I got into it, I enjoyed the hell out of the whole book.
The scene where Sydney's in jail and she has to go to the bathroom and she's in the leather-clad like catsuit and she's like, "Gotta take off my belt." Just unzips and the stupid guy's like, "Oh yeah,
yeah, baby."
But there's some great names for some of the characters in here. The Barracuda.
Johnny the Barracuda.
Dr. Karnov von Krippler.
Yeah.
Agent Zero.
Agent Zero.
Which is Abby's dad.
Yeah, you find out that he's Abby's dad at the end. You didn't catch that?
No.
Yeah, he's Abby's dad.
Really?
Yeah.
He's got a picture of her as a little kid.
Didn't even dawn on.
Register.
No.
Didn't even register.
No. Like, Oh, cool. He's got a picture of her. Nice.
He's been stalking her for a while.
That's not creepy at all. I'm going to give it a 5.
Really? For as much as you struggled with it?
Once I got into it, and I loved Charlie's Angels growing up. I loved James Bond, and I love Indiana Jones, and it hit all those marks. I was pleasantly surprised. So yeah, 5.
Nice. Nick?
It's funny. I mean, there's a scene where she has to make out with a guy in a hot tub. Like this really really disgusting arms dealer kind of
when she like talks to the guard and he'll have me all warmed up and I'll be ready for you. And then she walks in and she's like,
oh, I dropped the bottle.
The peach. That's his
name. The peach. And the two guys are more like the peanut.
And when he's in bed, he's the manimal. God, it's just so. If you see like the guy that plays the German in
Raiders of
the Lost Ark,
that got the emblem burned into his hand.
Yeah, that would be this guy, just fat.
I loved it. What'd you think of it, Nick?
I've loved this book for a long time, even without the boobs and the butts and the see-through clothes and stuff. It's still a great story. I could do it, either way. But that's J. Scott Campbell, so you can't really be like, oh, well.
Right.
What do you rate it?
That's tough.
That's tough for you?
It is. 4.5.
Oh, what are you taking the half off for? The boobs and the see-through clothes?
The ending is Indiana Jones.
The crappy dad? Or the creepy dad?
No.
Yeah.
The ending.
Okay.
Because it's just like, oh, they open the tomb and there it is.
Yeah.
Like.
Okay. Cool.
No, like, it's Charlie's Angels meets James Bond. But there's a foreword in here by Bruce Campbell where he's talking about how if his Playboy subscription would ever run out or he would cancel it, he would always have Danger Girl to back up as a backup. It's like, yeah, pretty much.
What'd you think, Ryan?
I love this book. It's by Cliffhanger, which is a subsidiary of Image, and they did this one and Battle Chasers and Crimson. I liked all those books. They were always so much fun for me. It was just, I guess this was my version of what Image was for a lot of people when the Image first came out.
That's the Image I remember.
And but I mean, this was a different crop. This was like the Jacob. Yeah, this is that group that. So all those guys left Marvel to create Image, and then this is like the second tier of it.
The second wave.
Is where I got into it. Before that, it was just strictly Marvel DC for me.
Yeah. This one had a bit more story than the original first guys that came over from Marvel.
Oh, absolutely. This is one of my favorite stories. It's funny. It's got great action. The art's amazing.
I think that's why I like Gen 13 when J. Scott Campbell takes over, because it's got more of a story to it.
Yeah. To me, this is a 5.
Cool. Right on. All right. This week's Wordy file character is
Major Maxim.
Yeah, boy.
Straight from Danger Girl. First appearance was Danger Girl number 3 through 7 or 8. I think it was set up to 7. He is a Hammer operative. He did first appear in Danger Girl 3, where he was raiding Eddie Owen's house in search of the ancient helmet he possessed. During a fight with Danger Girl, he did drive a tank and push Eddie's house off of a cliff.
Oh, Eddie, the D&D wizard.
He did have an arm cut off by the Sword of Sovereignty, which was that armor we were talking about here a little bit ago. And he was later washed away when the ocean waters swept over the island. He may or may not still be alive. We don't know because he's never made another appearance, but they never said he was officially dead either. And that is the short and sweet of Major Maxim.
Cool. All right, I guess we'll move on to random reads. How many you got this week, Nick?
I got 1.
How many? 2. I got 1. Mine's kind of long, so I'll go first. All right, I'm gonna try to shorten it up.
Are you?
You open it up. It says, "I am immortal."
Right. Reviews,
and I have no end. Okay,
just do a summary.
I am.
Okay, just don't do page by page.
I'm not. So
it takes too long, and it's going to take like 45 minutes.
Starts out. Now I am gonna go, Steve.
All right, because I would say you could edit.
No, this is this issue delves more into the year 100, where the robot human mutant war is going on, and there's a priest standing outside the Church of Ascension, and he is basically stealing the humanity out of people, implanting like cybernetics into, like here he does it to a newborn child. Just takes it and zaps it right in the face. So Pestilence, Rasputin, Zorn, and Cardinal are all watching on, and they decide to attack. And
Zorn, like Magneto Zorn?
no, this is I don't want to read too much.
Yeah, there's a whole thing about Zorn. Like Zorn wasn't supposed to go out of New X-Men.
Yeah,
but they loved him so much that they brought him back as something else.
He is
not just Magneto.
His name is Quan Yin Zorn. He's not Magneto.
Okay.
Cop out.
Yeah, they're watching on, and they decide to attack because they want to get into the Church of Ascension, basically because the Church of Ascension is where the plans for Nimrod are stored, and they're trying to steal the schematics for it so they can find out when he comes online. So Zorn, Pestilence, Rasputin, and Cardinal's job is to distract outside. But first we'll get to Omega Sentinel is talking with Nimrod about how she's watching a news feed and the mutants are attacking the Church of Ascension, and Nimrod's like, that's weird. Why would they be, attacking the church? Aren't they supposed to be trying to get along in coexistence? And Omega Sentinel's like, yeah, that went away a long time ago. And she decides that she's going to go check it out, find out what's going on. And Nimrod's like, nope, I'm staying here. Fuck you. Pretty much is what he says. And then it goes to Cardinal, and he's stabbed the priest, and he's like, why did you betray your own kind? And the priest says, because I did it for the great machine, our better. He is our god. He basically calls him their god, right? And all of a sudden there's a big shockwave and Pestilence gets hit and taken out. And the priest goes, see, mutant? God. She is here, and it's Omega Sentinel. And she's got a shitload of Sentinels with her. And Zorn's like, sweet mother of God. This is the day I've been waiting for. The annihilation, because he's death, right? He's the death of the apocalypse, 4 horsemen. And he's like, and Rasputin's like, no, we have to distract him. So there's 3 other mutants inside. There's Krakoa, Cypher. Krakoa and Cypher merged. And then there's Apocalypse and War, who is Wolverine, have infiltrated the Church of Ascension. Nimrod's starting to figure out what's going on. Krakoa finds it, downloads it to an Apocalypse seed, and says we can go. And Wolverine's like, no, there's something not right. And he gets attacked by Nimrod. So then you cut to Rasputin, Cardinal, are still... Cardinal's down. Cardinal's dead from the Sentinels. Rasputin's holding Zorn up. And she tells Omega Sentinel not to come any closer. That Zorn has a singularity in his head. And all she has to do is remove the mask and wipe everything out. And Omega Sentinel says, you won't do it. You're hanging on to something that is not worth holding on to. You don't know do you know what happens in the center of a black hole? I do, and it's where we're headed. And my favorite panel of the whole goddamn book. Rasputin says, you're right. I don't know. Omega Sentinel says, no. She goes, let's find out, and rips Zorn's helmet off and causes a mass explosion outside. Apocalypse and Wolverine are like trying to go through Krakoa, and Wolverine's like, I'll stay. And Apocalypse is like, no, you won't. If you could see yourself, you're in no shape to fight Nimrod, besides you know what to do with it. So he gives the seed to Wolverine. Wolverine goes through the portal, and Apocalypse, being very unapocalyptic, sacrifices himself for the mutants. And this is another part of my book where I liked Nimrod's like, Apocalypse, the mutant immortal. Older than the world, the fittest of all. How sad this must be to know that natural selection has brought you here. And Nimrod takes out Apocalypse. And then Wolverine gets back to base, and they call Moira Mother in this book. He's like, Moira, it's time to wake up. I have it. Says, Apocalypse set you up to where you could ingest this fast because we're kind of against the clock. He inserts the seed into Moira, and he's like, got it? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, what now? And he says, if we succeeded, the old man said to send you on your way because there's nothing left to save here. And he says, I'm sorry. She's like, it's okay, I have what I need. Besides this is what you do. And Wolverine kills her. So ends the 9th life of Moira X. So now she has the information to find out when Nimrod is going to come online, and she's going to have it when she lives through her life.
How many lives does she have?
11.
Okay.
I'm going to say Powers of X number 2. It was hard to follow. Didn't make much sense. And the Powers of 10 number 3. He ties up Moira, you can see how they're in the next 3 issues, the next 6 issues, they're going to take out Nimrod. This one, yeah, it's a 4.5. I recommend that you read it. But you got to read the whole thing. The artwork, they got some pretty good artists on these books. The story flowed. It didn't take forever to read. So, that's mine. Is that better?
Sure.
Better than the 2 pages I had?
So mine, I was going through comics that I bought for like really cheap, and I was like, oh, sweet. Morbius the Living Vampire. I have not read this since I was in high school.
I like Morbius.
So it came out in 1993. This is issue 9, and I don't know what to say about this. This is a crazy book where okay, so it starts out as Dracula. Like, he's in the story of Dracula, right? And he's hanging out with his love of his life, Martine Bancroft, and he turns her into a vampire so they can live forever. And this weird guy with bat wings and goatee, it looks exactly like Stephen Strange, shows up, and he's like, no, this is not where you belong. You are in Nightmare World. You need to figure out a way to get out of here. And Morbius is like, no, I'm staying here. This is where I'm happy. I can rule this world, and this is where I'm going to stay. And it just goes completely batshit crazy from here on out. Like, he turns his wife into a vampire, and they start living their life, and they fight demons, and they fight monsters, and it's totally 90s book, right? So at the end, Stephen Strange saves him. He gives him back his dark force that Stephen put into his own body to keep Morbius safe for some reason in this world. Nightmare shows up. Strange has to fight him alongside Morbius. Strange gives back Morbius his dark side. Morbius is ejected from Nightmare World by Stephen so he can save Stephen's body outside.
Ryan looks thrilled.
Crazy.
He's
I like the first issue of that book.
He's either thrilled or he's falling asleep.
It brought back memories of
90s.
Of high school.
I will actually tell you guys that the first issue of Spider-Man I ever bought was with Morbius. It was like 1983, 84 or something like that. So I've had a soft spot for Morbius for a while.
But yeah,
that's awesome.
It's a 90s book. Give it a 3.
Give it a 3.
Quality.
What do you got, Ryan?
Well, I read Blade Runner #1. Now, with that being said, I want to clarify something. I've watched Blade Runner a number of times.
Okay.
I had a very hard time following Blade Runner. I liked the movie. I don't know why, because I couldn't figure out the story. But
okay,
I liked it.
Yeah.
I now understand the story.
Because you read the comic?
I read the comic. It for whatever reason, it made sense when I read this, and I'm picturing the scenes in the movie. I'm like, hey, that makes sense now.
Is there thought bubbles in there?
Not thought bubbles, but like
a lot of exposition.
Yes.
So it makes up the parts of the movies where they kind of like take the
Right.
they rely on the scenes too much, like they rely too much on the scenery to do the story instead of actually telling you the story, and I think that's why you like that one.
I think they did a really good job with this. They did. I knew when it was Rutger Hauer. Is that his name? They drew him very well. They drew Harrison Ford.
Sean Young.
Almost said, yeah, Sean Young. They did a good job. Daryl Hannah. In this book, I have not seen the full image of her yet. It's a lot of shadow.
Okay.
The JF, what's his name? The guy with all the puppets, or
Yeah.
the guy that played him. I could tell it was the guy that was Larry from Newhart.
My name is Larry, and this is my brother Daryl, and my other brother Daryl.
I knew that's who it was.
Yeah.
So they did a really good job on this, and it made sense. And I'm really excited about going back and actually watching the movie again and going, oh, no. So yeah, definitely. And I got it for $1, I think.
Nice.
And I got the whole. It's 3 issues. I only read the first one, but well worth checking out if you can find it.
Cool. I'm angry with Ryan
I hear that a lot.
because I saved that book. I was saving that book for when we did cartoons, and I had it too.
I couldn't help myself. I had
That's
to do this.
perfectly fine. I'm just like, now I gotta find something else to talk about when we do.
There's plenty.
I know there is. I'm just playing. I'm not really upset.
So, Transformers 84 issue 0 came out this last week. I missed the Transformers.
Yep. That made me nostalgic for the cartoon show.
The artwork was really good. The story was fun. The original Transformers run, it went in a completely different path after the Transformers movie came out, and it started bringing in all these characters I could care less about.
New toys.
Yeah, that's what the marketing was for. This is bringing back the original characters.
Somewhat.
Yeah, but enough of it that I feel pretty good about it. I don't want to give a whole lot away on this, but
Nick has to read it. It's really good.
They're robots. They transform. They fight. Yeah.
There's actually a deeper story in this one.
There's a deeper story to this one.
Yeah.
Unicron.
And I just got excited about seeing Sunspot.
Yeah, I was hoping this a one shot because it seemed like it was a one shot.
No, this is supposed to be an ongoing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh damn! I got in on the ground level of an ongoing series.
All I will say is you need to go out and read this if you have any kind of feelings towards Transformers at all.
If you grew up in the time period of us 3 guys here, yeah, you need to go out. You need to buy it. You need to read it. You need to collect the whole series.
Oh, it's so much fun. I loved every panel of it. I actually like this better than Fairlady this time around. Yeah, and I love Fairlady, but this was great.
It was a fun read.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
All right. Next, we've got the list. This week, it's our top 10 J. Scott Campbell covers.
In honor of Danger Girl.
All right. My number 10 is Spider-Man 2099 number 1, Agent Domino number 1, Gen 13 number 1, Back to the Future number 1, Superior Spider-Man number 22, Return of Wolverine number 1, Astonishing X-Men number 1, Secret Empire number 5, Star Wars number 1, and Jean Grey number 1 Dark Phoenix cover.
All right, so mine is Wildcats number 1. Number 9 is Domino Volume 3 number 1. Number 8, Rawhide Kid, Limited Series number 1. Number 7 is Supergirl Gen 13 number 2. Number 6, Gen 13 number 1, the paper doll cover. Number 5 is Divas number 1. Number 4, Vampirella number 1, the 2001 variant. Number 3 is Black Panther number 1. Number 2, Amazing Spider-Man number 601. And number 1, Masters of the Universe number 1.
Nice.
All right. Mine is number 10, Black Widow number 1 variant. 9 is Superman Gen 13 number 2. 8 is the Black Cat number 1. 7 is Battle of the Planets Thundercats. 6, Wonderland number 1. 5, Amazing Spider-Man 492. 4, Amazing Spider-Man 601. 3, Battle Chasers number 7. 2, Danger Girl number 1. And number 1 is G.I. Joe number 1 by Image.
Very nice.
Nice.
G.I. Joe. Never would have guessed.
So, this is something I saw this week. Kevin Smith and Mark Bernard have been paid by Netflix to do Masters of the Universe cartoon.
Yep.
and they're taking off from where the series ended. So they're going off of the original canon. It's not going to be a new universe. It's not going to be anything. I gotta say, I'm very excited to see it.
Well, they better put a little more real blast in this thing. He's my favorite character, and they really don't touch on him. I think he made one appearance.
Okay.
If that.
I can't wait for it to come out. I'm stoked.
I want to see the artwork for it.
Yeah.
Because
that's going to be huge.
If we see it. I mean, if they do what they did to She-Ra, I'm old school, and people are like, this old Filmation animation sucked. Look at this new awesome She-Ra cartoon. I'm like, no. There was a reason that Filmation was so big back in the 80s.
It reminds me of the Turtles.
The
new Turtles are just horrible.
I think it's going to have anime tones.
I'm not watching it.
But it's going to be...
Don't care.
Even if it just has a little bit.
Nope, don't care.
You watched,
I'm in.
It's He-Man.
You watched the whole Voltron.
That was Voltron. Voltron's from Japan. Voltron should have anime aspects to it. He-Man is an American-made cartoon. Should look like an American-made cartoon.
Okay, the Voltron thing real quick. So, they had the cats, and then they had the jets thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which one's the original?
There was 3, actually.
There's actually 4.
Huh?
There's multiple different versions
There's
of Voltron.
different Voltrons.
And they're all from different cartoons in Japan that they just combined into
the one that
Voltron.
they picked for America was called Go Lion. Is the one that they picked.
So it's like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Correct.
Right. And like Robotech, where that was 3 different shows too, and they just spliced them together to make one show.
And then they were like, well, this Voltron worked. Let's bring the one with the cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Okay, I get it, but what if... Okay, I'm going to watch it regardless.
I will try it.
I will try it, yeah. I'll put it out there, I'll try it.
I'm really hoping Kevin Smith has a season of it down before they start releasing any of them, because it could be like Black Cat. Was it Spider-Man Black Cat? And we're still waiting for issue 4.
Well,
no offense, Kevin Smith. I get it. You're a busy man, but
I was watching his Fat Man Beyond, his podcast that he does on YouTube that he took. And he said that they're in the middle of a cycle right now where they're writing. So I think we're going to have a whole season down. He couldn't tell us who's going to be in it. He couldn't tell anybody anything.
Okay.
So, and he was making fun of himself. He was like, oh, He-Man, Stinkor and Beastman are going to be standing up against the Mega Mart and trying to sell weed. And he's like, no, I'm a big fan of the show. He goes, I'm a big fan of the show. I'm not going to treat it like shit.
See, I would actually see Mossman selling weed because he smelled like weed.
I couldn't remember who he used as the other one. It was Stinkor and somebody. I can't remember.
The skunk and the weed guy.
The weed, yeah.
So it would be
funny.
Stinkor and Mossman.
Mossman would be awesome.
Weed.
But yeah, like Jay Muse is like, I'm auditioning for my He-Man, and he's like, no, you aren't. I'm gonna keep you away.
You can play King Randor, and you're in one episode.
No, he goes, you're more of a Stinkor. Really, He-Man? You're more Stinkor. But I'm hoping it's good. If not, it'll probably be the animation that ruins it. So
we'll see.
I'm
not going to get too excited for it.
I'm kind of excited about it.
I am too. I was kind of excited, but
I'm not going to get my hopes up.
Anyway, so I do have 2 questions for you two. My first question: Nova, movie or TV show?
Movie.
Yeah, movie.
His powers and everything would never be done justice on television.
I was thinking of making it like a police force kind of thing where he goes and but yeah,
Nova Corps Police Academy style.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what I mean, like a detective show.
Steve Guttenberg as commissioner.
Nova was never a detective. They were saying the reason I brought this up was that Disney Plus announced that Obi-Wan Kenobi's getting his own show, and She-Hulk's getting her own show. And they were talking on this show about how they hope it focuses on her law work and not her hulking out so much. And somebody's like, well, why don't they do an Obi-Wan show where he's a lawyer, right? So I was like, Nova being a cop. Somebody brought that up. It was a fan, not one of the guys up doing the show. So, I agree.
Are they saying She-Hulk is changing then? Because
Back into Jennifer Walters
Yeah.
to do the lawyer bit?
because there was that series that she was a She-Hulk lawyer, which was absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Do that, please.
That's
It'll
what
be very
everybody.
entertaining.
That's what everybody is saying they want. They want more of the Jennifer Walters as a lawyer.
And you have to have Two Gun Kid in it.
That means Disney's not going to do it.
And a court battle with Matthew Murdock.
Yeah.
I was just thinking it might be cool as a TV show, but you guys are right. With them moving towards space in the Marvel Universe, where they should be going, the way it looked like it was going, Nova has to be in there and he has to have a movie.
You know, the best way they can do that is with Guardians 3, introduce him in.
Yep.
And then spin off from that. Because you've already got the characters established. You already have an idea who Nova Corps is. Bringing in Nova as one of the Guardians for a little bit to help out, if nothing else.
Yep.
And then I know that's probably not your cup of tea, Nick, but getting him out there and at least getting some value to him and then creating that movie.
As long as he's not bastardized like he was in Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Yeah.
Because, holy shit, when they did the promo picture for it, and they had the helmet, and they had what else did they have for the Nova? They had the guys in the Nova Corps like outfits next to all the stuff from the Guardians, like their helmets and their boots and their guns. And I was like, holy shit, the Nova Corps are in this. And then I saw this movie, and I'm like,
Turns out to be
the rest of it's good,
John C. Reilly and
but this is not what I was wanting.
yeah.
Movie's great, except for the Nova Corps.
I was the same way. I was like, oh my god.
They're prison guards. It's
Yeah.
like, without powers.
Yep.
Is it because there's so many of them that their power got diluted and they have to fly in ships? And hopefully, when Thanos destroyed Xandar, he destroyed everybody except for one helmet. And that helmet goes to Earth and finds Richard Rider, and
We got Dick Rider, Nova Prime.
there's no more Nova Corps.
Blazes.
Which would be cool if he had to go out and find more Novas.
I can't hear you.
Nothing.
No, I heard
No.
you. No, I just couldn't hear you when you said that.
Hopefully he doesn't say Blue Blazes.
Blue Blazes!
Maybe that's will be the tagline for it. Nova coming 2021.
Blue
Blazes!
All right, and the second question for you guys. If you could see any no-name character in the movies, which ones would you like to see?
Porcupine and Nort.
That was quick.
Wow. The Creeper and All About the Flight.
Oh, that'd be good.
Alpha Flight was my pick. I was going to say Alpha Flight.
There's just so many out there that you could do something with.
Team America?
I don't think that would fly.
No. No? Why not? I want to see a Captain Marvel movie.
Which Captain Marvel?
You walked into his trap.
Right.
I want to see it about Marvel. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just can't think of his name.
Ghost Rider.
I want to see Ghost Rider done right.
Quasar.
Quasar would be good.
Quasar would be good.
Have a Quasar Nova team up.
There you are.
And Warlock? We have not seen Warlock yet.
No.
And we probably won't.
Probably
Because
not.
it's just a giant
He's
cock
an
tease.
egg.
So please, some Warlock.
Hawkman. That'd be a tough one, but that'd be cool.
Hawkman.
Kazar.
And his son Matt.
Miracle Man? I don't think they could do it. The licensing rights would be insane.
Oh, it'd be crazy. Justice League Detroit.
That's Flash. There's Vibe and
I forgot
Gypsy
about
and
that.
yeah.
Daredevil. A good Daredevil.
Hey, I appreciate
that show.
Ben Affleck's
I
efforts.
like Daredevil. I'm gonna bring up now. I watched Justice League, and it's kind of funny because when they first saw Ben Affleck in the bat suit, I was like, his cheeks are too goddamn puffy to be in that goddamn cowl. He needs to thin out his face, goddammit. And I was like, oh, I guess he's okay. That movie was great.
He's just not a believable Bruce Wayne.
No.
It's like watching, okay, everybody loves Michael Keaton, but Michael Keaton is not.
That's because neither of them played up the billionaire.
Well, neither of them is believable that they're a badass. Right? Christian Bale at least had the build for it, and he had the attitude for it.
Hey, at least we're getting Robert Patterson to fix this.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, get out of my room. But no, I just think that those two are totally unbelievable. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not seeing Michael Keaton holding a thug off a roof
No.
by his collar. I'm not seeing it. I don't see
Uh-huh.
Val Kilmer doing that either, and I do not see
Clooney.
Yeah, George Clooney.
I did like the interaction of even of Aquaman and Batman in that, where they were giving each other shit the whole time. And then Superman seeing the Flash coming at him was also awesome.
I did not like that Flash.
Nope.
He grew on me. I liked him.
He's a very intellectual kid, and he did not play him as a very intellectual kid.
No.
He was Batman's sidekick
Yeah.
through that movie.
And
that really bugged me.
I was also confused because Justice League took place before Aquaman, and he's like, my mother abandoned me, and like, no, she didn't. What the hell? How do you have the suit already? And then I was like, oh yeah, it came out before. But it was good for what it was. I didn't nitpick it too bad. All right. Anybody got anything else? Oh, I got one more thing. Kit Harington is playing the Black Knight in the Eternals movie.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just saying, why... If that is just a flashback to the Dark Ages, because did they say it was Dane Whitman? Or did they just say the Black Knight?
They just said the Black Knight.
So it could be the Black Knight in the time of Merlin. And since the Eternals are eternal, they're probably going through time. So they're going to show like the Black Knight back in the time. That's just my guess.
Somebody said, ooh, he's really branching out. Playing a knight in black with a sword to going to playing a knight in black playing with a sword. I don't know. I'm not too excited about the Eternals movie.
No. The Eternals are super boring. And the Eternals were just their makeup for the Inhumans that failed. Because the Humans, that show was horrible. And they decided, well, we're not going to make that movie now. Let's find another crappy team that we can try to bring out like the Guardians did.
Yeah. So they picked the Eternals?
The Eternals are horrible. They're so boring. Every time they show up in the Avengers, every time they had a limited series, it was dull. They're not interesting characters.
Was it garbage?
No, they're shit.
Okay.
They're not interesting.
Okay, I don't doubt that.
So if you want to go out and find some Eternals books, go out and spend that horrible amount of money you're going to spend on those for a book that you're going to hate. Even Neil Gaiman could make them good.
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman's limited series was stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Neil Gaiman fan, but he at least tried, and it didn't go anywhere. It was shit, too.
Okay. I will not be seeing Eternals. Anybody got anything else?
There's so many Marvel characters that you
There
can make
is.
movies of, and you pick the Eternals.
There is. We could do a whole nother show.
We could. Let's go through the Marvel universes right now. I'd rather see a Porcupine movie.
Agreed.
Yeah. do the Deadly Foes of Spider-Man movie. Where
Superior
it's just
Foes.
the Superior Foes of
That'd be
Spider-Man.
hilarious.
And just all the shit villains all hanging out in an apartment, eating pizza, talking about stupid crap would be more interesting than an Eternals movie.
Do you know what turned me off of the Eternals movie?
The name. The characters.
Angelina Jolie.
They're going to DH her. You know they are.
They are.
And she's going to look horrible.
That's what turned me off right away. I was like, I'm not going to see this movie just because it has her in it.
That's what took me out of Aquaman so much. It was just like, the beginning was just like, oh my God, you look CGI.
Yeah.
How about you just get somebody younger to play that part?
I did get what I wanted out of the Disney Plus. I'm getting Moon Knight in his own TV series.
Yeah.
I'm wondering which Moon Knight we're going to get. That's what everybody's saying.
Is it the guy in the suit? Is it the guy in the tuxedo? Is it...
They don't think they're going to do the horror, straight R aspect of...
Yeah, screw it. Never mind.
of Moon Knight. So, I don't know. Because Disney is family.
Well...
Unless you're Spider-Man.
Okay, now that brings up a good point. Okay. So, everybody online, if you are bitching at Marvel Comics that you want Spider-Man back in the MCU, you are wasting your time. Because they have nothing to do with that. They are a comic book company.
Yep.
Marvel Studios is where you should be arguing to. And if you really hate it, don't go see a Sony Spider-Man movie. Don't go see a Sony movie at all. Ban it. Don't go see it. Make them sell it back to Marvel because they're not going to make any money on it.
They can't use anything from the last movie.
Right. Nothing.
It's gone.
Don't
they
go
can't
see
use anything from it now.
Don't go see it. I'm sick of seeing people on Facebook bitching at Marvel to get Spider-Man back. They have nothing to do with it.
You're so greedy. You're so greedy. You only got 5. You need more than 5%. You greedy corporation. Fuck that. Sony's more greedy than anybody.
Right. Yeah, you don't just ban it. Just don't go see it. But I'm betting everybody will go see a stupid Spider-Man movie again with a new kid so they can redo an origin story.
And Uncle Ben can die again.
Or maybe they'll switch it up and Aunt May will die and Uncle Ben will stay around.
Ryan's doing a standing ovation right now, everybody.
And Uncle Ben will get the Venom suit and he become Uncle Venom.
Uncle Venom.
It writes itself, people.
I agree with you. I thought this whole Spider-Man thing, all Marvel wanted was, hey, we're doing the producing, we're doing the writing, we're doing everything. We're paying the guys to make the movie, and you guys are getting all the money. So let's do 50-50 and split it down the middle with sharing the profits from the movie. If you're doing most of the work, I ain't gonna take. If I do most of the work, I ain't taking 5% of first day profits. I can tell you that, especially since I don't really need them. I can go create another one.
Right.
Do my own thing.
Tom Holland's going to show up in like another Avengers movie as somebody else.
Yep. They'll just recast Tom Holland. Basically give the finger to Sony.
Next Wave Agents of Hate is another one I'd like to see a movie of.
Okay.
We got to read that.
We do. We have to review that one. All right. Anything else?
Nah.
No.
No? We did good tonight? We got enough?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. All right, guys. Have fun. Read more comics. It's been Kirk.
Ryan.
Hey, he beat you.
Nick.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Welcome to Dynatron City, proud symbol of the atomic age. Cooking is safe and easy in a kitchen filled with atomic appliances. And what better way to top off a neutrino nutritious breakfast than with a frosty Proto-Cola, everyone's favorite soft drink. Dad's ready for an exciting day at work. Because in Dynatron City, everyone knows that hard work and a good attitude is what builds a great future. An atomic future. Because atomic power is safe, clean, and inexpensive. The power of the future. The power of Dynatron City.
Why does the engine glow like that, Mommy?
Because it's radioactive.
Wow!
Yes, remember, Timmy, here in Dynatron City, Mr. Atom is our friend.
Hey, looks like I just got that extra hand I've always needed.
That's great, dear.
Yeah, Dad! Cool!
Yes, Timmy, cool. Thanks to Mr. Atom, everyone in Dynatron City is happy, and mutation is a way of life.